Hey, what's up everybody? Promise22 here, bringing you part 3, or 4 if you consider number 0, of my IDW Readathon. So, I finally got around to reading the whole slew of spotlights. Spotlight Thundercracker, Shockwave, Cliffjumper, Wheelie, Hot Rod, Sixshot, Ultra Magnus, and Soundwave. That's a lot. Um, each with their own individual stories. So yeah, this might be a video on a bit on the long side, but I'll try to condense it. So, first, we have Spotlight Thundercracker. I'm not going to hold up. I had to take them from every single Spotlight volume there is, except for Revelation. But yeah, Thundercracker. Written by John Barber. Yeah, I like my John Barber. Art by... I don't even know who did the art, but... excuse me. I didn't really like the art at all. It was bad. It reminded me of... It might be... I just might have to check to see how bad it was. I really did not like that art. Have I said that I didn't like the art? Chi? Bumblebee. Art by Chi. That's all it says. Just Chi. Art to Chi. Anyway, Thundercracker. Because of his role in Spotlight Ryan Pax, he is under Bludgeon's command. We'll see a lot of Bludgeon in this episode. But he's looking for Metroplex, who disappeared after the end of Primacy, I guess. And, yeah, Bumblebee and Nightbeat and Jetfire stalk them, and they go to this asteroid base. This asteroid with life on it, and Thundercracker tries to tell the living creatures to, like, run away, but instead they all come out, and the Decepticons start killing them all, and Thundercracker's like, what's the point of this war? I read him in an Armada Starscream voice, because he's kind of that sort of character, but, as we'll later see, like, by All Hail Megatron and stuff. So, yeah, he does discover Metroplex, but because Bumblebee inspired him to be good, and the creature that saved Bumblebee's life from Thundercracker inspired Thundercracker to be good, he's like, nope, there's no Metroplex here, then Metroplex leaves. And, yeah. So, it was like a little weird story, but it'll have more relevance. That is the word, right? Relevance? But, yeah, they'll have more relevance later on near, like, Dark Cybertron. After that, we have Spotlight Shockwave, where it all began. Shockwave discovers that it's written by Simon Furman, the art's Nick Roche. Shockwave knows that the planet's going to be destroyed by war and they'll run out of resources, so he takes his ores, makes a project called Regenesis, and fires them out into space, and starts seeding the universe with all this Ultra Energon. He goes to Earth to, like, stabilize it, and that's when the Dinobots arrive in dinosaur modes, which I think Grimlock would have enough PTSD from when they had dinosaur modes back in Monstrosity, but whatever. And they fight Shockwave, and then it ends up with all of them put into stasis lock at after a volcano erupted by Grimlock's fault. Grimlock set it up just in case they failed, which they did. And so their ship fired onto a volcano, it erupted, and everyone went to stasis lock. And then it flashes forward to 2006, where they're uncovering Shockwave and the Dinobots. Yeah, I really liked Spotlight Shockwave. Cliffjumper, Spotlight Cliffjumper. Cliffjumper, yeah, Spotlight Cliffjumper was a sad one. Cliffjumper goes to this planet. He meets a female of that species named Kita. They live a pretty happy life, and, like, Cliffjumper's like, I can't remember when it was this peaceful before. And she's like, it's peaceful here, but to hurt someone is the worst thing we can do in my culture. And Cliffjumper is like, oh, well, better keep a secret that I'm an assassin. Then the Decepticons arrive, they tell Kita that he's an assassin. Kita gets injured, they run into, and she has a little brother named Cole, and Cliffjumper takes them into a barn after Kita got injured by the Decepticons, and then she dies. And then we see crying. That's where we saw one of the more recent Windblade issues where Windblade cried. And, like, OMG, Transformers cried. Nope, they did that far beyond before that. Like Spotlight Cliffjumper. And as he's crying, he looks at the Decepticon ship and he's like, nice ship, I think I'll take it. And he, like, is like dual wielding guns, and I assume he took them all out. And yeah, Spotlight Cliffjumper is a really good story. It just has nothing to do really with it will never be referenced. At least not yet. Not at the time of this video, it has not been referenced. That was written by Shane McCarthy, I think it is. I think. Don't quote me on that. And the art, I think, is Casey Collar, but I'm not sure. And I don't want to take the All Hail Megatron book out to check. Wheelie, that's by Simon Furman. I don't know who did the art for that one. I didn't really care too much for the art, but it's not bad. Wheelie is this little bot that gets sent out into space to explore the universe, but then he runs into a radiation cloud and ends up on the planet LV-117, where he is stranded for like centuries, and then he finds the Decepticon Spectro Spyglass and Viewfinder, which we'll learn more about why they're there all the way in Robots in Disguise, near Dark Cybertron. And Wheelie eventually saves this alien called Varda, who teaches Wheelie how to rhyme. Well, not. It gets Wheelie to rhyme, and then Wheelie doesn't rhyme at first, but he does later on to translate to Varda, and then he gets sort of stuck on it. So, yeah, Spotlight Wheelie originally had nothing to do with the rest of the universe until about Chaos Theory time when Hot Rod found Wheelie. But yeah, I thought it was very wordy. Like it didn't need to be that much text, but it was a good read. Spotlight Hot Rod. Apparently, again, a running theme here is that Hot Rod is a series of failures, and started with Autocracy when he blew up his hometown, and now he's going to be over here leading a operation with some Autobots, including one called Dealer, and they're on this planet called Kialetta or Kialetta. I say it Kialetta in my head, but looking at it, it might be Kialetta. But they're looking for the Magnificence, which is this artifact that can answer any question ever. Don't know the science behind that one, but yeah. Eventually the mission fails and everyone dies, and Hot Rod leaves. And then he finds out that Dealer survived, and he's on the Decepticon penal colony of Styx. And so he infiltrates the prison. It's like the Decepticon version of Garrus 9. And he infiltrates the prison by surfing on comets down to the planet's surface, uploading a virus into the system, and then getting in and getting Dealer out. And then we learn at the end that Dealer actually works for Bonsaitron and his secret service of Decepticons, and that it was Dealer that caused the whole plan to go haywire, and that one day he'll get the Magnificence from Hot Rod and bring it to the Decepticon cause. Again, here's Hot Rod being betrayed by a friend. So yeah, I really like that one. That was written by Simon Furman, I think, and the art was definitely Nick Roche. I like Nick Roche's art sometimes. Like, depends on the colorist. Like, actually, sometimes Nick Roche's art in Last Stand of the Wreckers I didn't really like, but it's all good. Then we go to Spotlight Sixshot. It's an interesting fact. I read Sixshot's voice in the same voice as Sixshot from Transformers Energon, which is oddly enough works. But so Sixshot is a Phase 6er. He destroys planets on the brink of Phase 6, which is total devastation of the planet. And apparently has these fanboys, the Terracons, which they're sort of, the Terracons are like real stuff and monstrosity, but in Spotlight Sixshot they're just jokes. But they got kidnapped by this group of aliens called the Reapers. Mass Effect flashbacks here. But Sixshot goes and rescues the Terracons, and the Reapers are like, join us and we can stop war by destroying everything so nobody has anything to fight over. And Sixshot's like, maybe, but then goes off in his own way. I enjoyed reading it. The art, I don't know who did the art, but it was meh. The writing was probably Simon Furman. I liked it, but for some reason, like, it's one of the, I don't know why I liked it. Let's put it that way. Then we have Spotlight Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus takes down Swindle. This is written by Simon Furman. The art is by another artist. But Swindle's like, oh, you can let me free if I tell you where Scorponok is. And Scorponok's apparently been going throughout the universe, creating his own organizations to like share technology with humans, not humans, other species. And Ultra Magnus wants to bring him down, so he lets Swindle go. He actually puts a tracking chip on Swindle for the info on Scorponok, who's on Nebulos. So Ultra Magnus goes over to Nebulos, and he finds Scorponok, and they fight, and then Scorponok's bro, Zarak, gets killed in the firefight, and Scorponok's like, no! And then he runs away, and a portal after Ultra Magnus shoots him in the face. Pretty eventful. But yeah, we learn about the Tyrus Accord and stuff like that. Ultra Magnus it's an interesting read for the early IDW universe. Then we have Spotlight Soundwave. Soundwave has been sent, but one thing to mention back in Spotlight Shockwave, Bludgeon was sent to Earth to find out anything about Shockwave's, what he was doing. So Soundwave, Megatron sent Soundwave to look after Bludgeon, who was looking after Shockwave. But they talk about Thunderwing and how Cybertron is uninhabitable. They'll talk about that more in Stormbringer next episode. So it's kind of a weird thing to read, because you should read it before Stormbringer, but you also should have knowledge of what happened in Stormbringer. But, so Soundwave goes after them. He realizes that they're on Earth, 1984, Mount St. Helens, in Oregon, gathering an Ultra Energon that was seeded by Shockwave, back in Spotlight Shockwave, to revive Thunderwing. And Soundwave's like, this cannot happen, and so they shoot Soundwave, and he gets stuck into his cassette mode, and then Ravage and Laserbeak are dispersed, and then the mountain blows up because of Bludgeon, and then they all end up in stasis lock, except for Bludgeon and his crew, who go to Cybertron. Yeah, Bludgeon has gone a bit cuckoo since we last seen him. And yeah, what time is that? About 11 minutes. Okay. Soundwave was written by Simon Furman, and the art was by someone I don't know. A lot of variety of artists in these early Spotlights. But yeah, there isn't really much to say about this as a whole. There are 8 completely independent Spotlights. I do like the Spotlight formula for IDW. It does build up the universe. A lot of this will become more relevant later on. But yeah, I really do like the Spotlight method of expanding the universe, and that's all I can think of saying. That's all I can think of saying on this. Need to learn English. I think that's it. Alright, so next episode we're going to talk about Infiltration and Stormbringer, the beginning of the IDW universe. The first comics published by the IDW for G1. If there's any game you want me to play on this channel, put it in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to, and have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen.